I am finally getting rod holders put on my boat, and I have someone special helping me do it. In fact, he made the brackets so I can have 6 rod holders off the back of the boat. Captain Ty Conkle is helping me. He's made these awesome brackets, and he's going to help me put them on the back of the boat. Ty's going to drill some holes here to mount it to the boat.
This was a unique application because of the angle of this thing. Took a little while to figure out what angle to put this at, but it came out at 15 degrees and looks like it's going to be dead on. That's the right size for that too. Well, I got that other one ready to go.
That's for the other side.
That other side wasn't critical anyway because you got it wide open.
Yeah. And he's putting marks on it so he can drill through that one and then mount it.
First time I made these, I got them due to that angle thing. I ended up getting it backwards. Had to redo it.
More holes in my boat. I've broken so many drill bits on this boat. Alright, we got the first one installed. Stainless steel bolts and stainless steel nuts. Lock nuts. And just like I was having issues with the front trolling motor blocking the light, this is almost blocking this one, but it fits. It's a tight fit, but it works. Awesome. Now we're going to work on the other side. Drill 2 more holes in my boat and put the other one on. So we got the other one on, and now I'm going to have to buy nuts and some lock washers to put the rod holders on. But it's starting to look good. Now I'm going to show you guys how good Ty is at making these brackets. This thing is almost perfectly level. I know the garage is level, the trailer is level, and the level is level. So are the rod holders. Great job. Here, fist bump. Awesome. So I'm going to have to go to the store, get some nuts, and put this together. I've got these mats to put in the bottom of the boat too. They're rubber mats that Ty brought. They're some kind of roofing material. And I'm going to put them in the bottom of the boat to help dampen the sound and stuff. And there's a few other things I'm going to do, and I will show you soon. Okay, yeah, I'm making Ty do all the work. He's done this before. He's putting the squares in and then cutting them so they fit in the bottom of the boat. About as good as you're going to get it. And these actually, you use a resin to put them into the bottom of the boat. And these leftovers I might actually put on my back bench. It's looking really good. And that is the resin. It's in a paint can. Paints it right on the floor of the boat. That stuff smells great.
You better believe it. You're going to feel happy in a minute. Now you know why roofers have problems.
Yeah, Ty is when he's not guiding, he's actually a roofer. He's also an aviation mechanic. Very talented person.
Wait till it gets just a smidge tacky.
Happy little trees.
What's that?
Happy lifting. Bob Ross.
And then you just shake it. Then you just beat the devil out of it. I think that was his line.
Yeah.
And you just beat the devil.
Do you actually take the plastic off of those sticky things? Okay.
It's like if you don't get it right the first time though, it ain't moving.
The boat's already quieter even when you're walking on it. Awesome. All right, the flooring is in. Good job, Ty.
Whoop 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 whoop.
So,
Oh, Dad.
I am going to pay Ty and pay him really good. And then I'll get back with you guys to do more to the boat, to finish it up and get it ready for fishing this weekend. I'll do a quick tour of the boat too at the end of this video. Thank you again, Captain Ty.
You are welcome.
Now, I forgot to mention that Ty is a fishing guide. He likes to take clients out to catch big catfish down in Upper Guntersville and the Chick and some of the other lakes around here. So if you want to check out his guide service, go to fv-catfish.com. I will link it in the description, and I will also link his YouTube channel in the description below. Now, if you're interested in rod holder brackets, you can contact him through that website and see if he's willing to make you some. Joe with Chat Cats Fishing, he has some of Ty's rod holder brackets on his boat too. So now all three of us have the same style rod holders. Except for Ty uses Driftmaster and me and Joe have monster rod holders. Now I've got some lock washers and lock nuts to put on the rod holders to hold them in place. I'm going to put the lock washer and the lock nut on the bottom. And then the one that came with the monster rod holder I'm going to keep on top. Each one has to be angled in a specific direction. So I'm going to show it to you once I get them on here. And there we go. The 3 rod holders are installed. And I guess I get to introduce you guys to my new rod and reel combos. I've got B&M Silver Cap Magnums, which I actually got from Ty as well. He sells B&M catfishing gear. And I got my favorite Akuma Classic Pros on here. These are the 300 size Akuma Classic Pros. And I have them lined with 30-pound Andy Monster line, the blue version. I've never used Andy Monster before, but I know Catfish Dave loves to use that line. So it's got to be a good line. And I've tried my best to spread out the rod holders evenly. But they're locked down and ready for some trophy catfish. Now I got to install the other side. Alright, the other rod holders on the other side are now installed. Now there's a couple more things I want to do before I do a tour of the entire boat, which is going to make this a multiple day video, because I don't have screws to put in what I need to put in, and the hardware store is closed. So in exactly 1 second, it's going to be tomorrow. Alright, it's day 2, and what I'm going to install on the boat now are some stainless steel pad eyes. I need these pad eyes to hold my cooler in place and hold my small bait tank in place and hold my anchor bucket in place. My new floor will hold them in place, but I still have to bungee cord them in place so they don't fall over. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to put one there, and one there. I drill the hole first, and I use a screwdriver to put the screw in. Now I'm going to try to show you a small trick here. You want to pick a drill bit that is slightly smaller than the screw you're using. I'm using sheet metal screws, which isn't the best idea for a boat, but that's what I got for now. I put the screw behind the bit and make sure I barely see it through the bit. Just going to make sure that they're even on both sides. And I'm using the cooler as a template because it's the biggest item. Probably should use the bucket too. The lighting isn't the best here, but there's one. And I've made measurements, and I'm going to try to put one on the other side about the same. And then the one that I put over here, I'm just going to eye it. I'm not going to make it perfect. I'm just going to make it so it can hold the bucket. Alright, I got the 3 pad eyes in. I'm going to have to buy bungee cords for these, so I'll do that at a later time. I don't know what I'm going to do with the back bench, so that's up in the air. I'm going to wait. I might take it out fishing before I do anything with it. Now the last thing I'm going to do here, I'm going to mount a cup holder right next to the console. It's just a cheap plastic one with 2 screws, so I just need to drill 2 screw holes and then screw it in. I'm just going to do that quick off camera, and then I'll give you guys a tour of the boat. There we go. Cup holder is installed. And I tell you what, working on a kayak is so much easier than working on a boat. I had to use He-Man strength to get the screws in there. So let's do a quick tour of the boat so you can see some of the things that I've done to it. Obviously I've got a trolling motor, and the trolling motor has spot lock. That way I can use the trolling motor to anchor me at spots that I want to fish. That was my main goal for getting a trolling motor. And this trolling motor has a whole bunch of other good features too. The spot lock is just the one that I wanted the most. I had a trolling motor bracket welded on here because I was using isolator bolts, and my trolling motor almost fell off because of those isolator bolts. So I had to do something a little bit more permanent. It's almost in the way of my navigation light, but it does clear it, and with a longer one, it goes up over the trolling motor. The one that I have may not be long enough. I'll have to ask the wildlife agency or the Coast Guard to see if it's actually legal. I added cleats to the front so I can tie off on things. There's 2 on the other side too, so there's 4 total. This plug is going to be a problem. It is actually stretched to its limit for the trolling motor, so I don't know what I'm going to do. Maybe someday I'll put a hatch up here and then move it to the trolling motor once I have access to the hull. On this side of the console, I have my fish finder, a Humminbird Helix 7, and that is a Hobie through hull fitting for 3 wires. It's got 2 wires in it right now. I figured that since I had it, I might as well use it. It works good even on aluminum, although it's meant for plastic. This is the hockey puck. This helps with the spot lock on the trolling motor. I had a grab bar added to the console. Makes life a little bit easier when driving the boat. This is just a ram ball and a ram adapter for the Humminbird unit. Watson's Marine, who mounted the motor on this boat, they gave me an upgraded throttle at no extra charge. I can't thank them enough for doing that. That's an awesome throttle. I added a 12-volt plug so I can plug in lights and other things like charge my cell phone. Just in case you guys didn't know, I put this boat on a Hustler trailer. Hustler is built in Tennessee. Of course, I got a bait tank that's good for like gizzard shad. As you can see, there's a belt personal flotation device kind of hung on this side, and I've got a plug for a charger. I actually added the plug so to make it easier for me to plug in and keep my batteries charged. And the charger is underneath the console. One of the things I need to do is put some kind of barrier there that I can lock down so nobody can steal it. Although I did use security screws when putting it in, even security screws can be bypassed. Same thing for the bottom. I need to get a door there that's lockable if I ever want to do tournaments that are not local. And my 2 trolling motor batteries are under there, and that was the most difficult part on this boat, was getting trolling motor batteries into that small compartment. Hope I never have to take them out again. Of course, got a fire extinguisher, got a safety lanyard. I added one of those cheap Harbor Freight magnets so I can hang metal things on there, like the holds tight grippers. I've been using those a lot with this boat. This is a 17-foot boat, and they hold it in place. I got pad eyes with a couple of bungees. That's to hold my big net in. I got a big foldable net, and it fits there perfectly. I've added these rod holder bases to the side. I've got 4 of them. I'm not going to actually use them until I get them welded on the boat. Big gas tank. I've actually got a cast net I need to learn how to use. I got an accessory battery and a starting battery. In fact, they're both starting batteries, so if one fails, I can use the other one to start the motor. This boat came equipped with 2 bilge pumps in it because of the tunnel hull. And that's where the water would come out on the bilge pump on this side, and it's exactly the same on the other. Now here's something that I had to add to my trailer. This makes it easy to tie the trailer down in the back because all I have to do is loosen it, and then there we go, I can launch the boat. And when I put it back on, like that, and then tighten it down. I had Hustler add that to the trailer when they built it. Of course, there's my big 65 horsepower Mercury jet. Technically, this is a 90 horsepower motor. The jet foot reduces it down to 65 horses. Jet power for the win. This thing also sucks the gas. And I mean, it's bad. It's really bad. It did 7.5 gallons in 2 hours of various throttle settings, which is a lot more than your traditional outboard. Now I've got extra wires back here. This one goes to my accessory battery, and it goes all the way to the front, and up under there I put a fuse box. And I have this loose plug here that I'm going to use with the bait tank. And 100 other things are hooked up to the battery, like the navigation lights. And there's a quick tour of my boat. Like they say, a boat is just a hole in the water that you throw money. And I'm sure I'm going to be adding more stuff to this boat. I actually still need to make a catfish live well that I can just drop in and remove at any time to do some catfishing tournaments out of this boat. I'll make a separate video of that in the future, so if you're not subscribed to my channel, go ahead and subscribe. And if you're already subscribed to the channel, thank you. Be sure to give me a thumbs up if you like this video, and thank you for watching. Hopefully I'll catch a trophy catfish this weekend some point.